Well, it took me 20 years, but I'm finally back at Fort Garland, Colorado. This is the actual fort of Fort Garland. And I'm pleased to say that not much has changed in 20 years, except for the fact that I am now videotaping this place instead of just taking some photos. This fort was historically most important during the Civil War, where it served as a base for Union forces opposing the Confederate forces from Texas, who were trying to take over the territory of New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, and Southern California. They were really after not only the territory, but the gold and silver and other mineral resources that were being mined in the area. Eventually, this was culminated in the Battle of Glorieta Pass outside of Santa Fe. This is the standard Western fort. The Army here was more concerned with Native American raids, stagecoach robberies, and just standard outlawlessness. Walls were not important. Well-trained soldiers and well-equipped soldiers were. Now this fort is typical of a fort in the Southwest, which is it's made of adobe. The Army, wherever it was, it used what materials were available. And adobe is very popular down here. In dry climates, it lasts a very long time. And you're looking at the parade ground in the middle with the various fort buildings around that would billet both the private soldiers, the officers, and the commandment, but also the cavalry and the general stores. A pretty good sized fort. And the other historical part of it was that Kit Carson, if you read about in Western folklore of the United States, was traditionally described as an Indian fighter, but in reality, he served with distinction with the military forces, and later in life, he was a government agent who really tried to look out for the Native Americans, despite the federal government's really intransigence and shortage and trying to shortchange the Indians. Plus, well, the private white settlers and white traders here also really stole, bribed, and embezzled funds, food, and anything else they could. He also managed to be the intermediary between the U.S. federal government and the tribes and settled out quite a number of disputes between the two entities before retiring to central eastern Colorado. And the fort finally went out of official existence in the 1890s. It was looked after by some of the local residents, so it did deteriorate. But in about the 1960s and 70s, there was a historical committee formed, and they started to restore the fort to its original grandeur. Now, most of these buildings are original. They just need some to heavy repair. And now, to the point of by the mid-70s, this place was restored to its original condition. And since then, it's been operated by the state of Colorado. Well, thank you for coming along for this historic journey. And please check out some of the other Western videos, historic and otherwise, that we have taken on our New Mexico escape, which also includes now a little bit of Colorado. This is the news, so please rate, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching.